Don't trust your partner with money? Not sure there'll be enough? Stick around to find out what to do to improve your connection.
I'm John.
And I'm Jeff. Welcome to Relational Media. In this video, we'll discuss how the quality of our early relationships can impact the experience of trust we have with our partner.
So this is part 2 of a 4-part series Jeff and I are doing on couples, especially the ones that struggle combining their finances. So if you've seen this one, you might want to go back and catch the first one, or stay tuned for the following 2 after this.
Have you ever thought your partner doesn't use good judgment with money?
Have I? I'm saying this to the world?
No, you don't have to say anything. No.
This is YouTube, dude.
Yeah, I know. This is a question not for you.
Oh, okay.
This is for them.
Theoretically, I could imagine somebody saying that.
Somebody might have said that before, right? There's a good chance if you're watching this video, you've wondered about whether it's a good idea to combine your money with your partner, right? Mm-hmm. But to answer this question, we have to look a little bit below the surface into your history. Trusting your partner is a result of not just their behavior, but also the behavior of people in your early life that took care of you.
Or the people who took care of them.
Absolutely, for sure. And I'm going to use this word security, which has a special meaning in psychology.
Okay.
Security is the idea that you feel safe in a relationship, that you could, you could say whatever you need to say, you could be open and vulnerable, and you wouldn't have any problem with that. There wouldn't be any friction that's caused by that. Security is the sense that you would be able to do that over the course of your relationship without a negative consequence. Okay? So security comes from knowing you can count on others. Mm-hmm. It's just the idea that over time, the people who took care of you growing up, your parents normally, they consistently provided love and kindness, and that they were really attuned to what you were going through.
And I'm going to guess that your supposition is that not everybody grew up in that situation all the time.
Yes, that is correct. And we're going to get to that in a minute. However, for now, if you can trust people, including your partner, and if you feel secure generally, then you're likely to be able to have an open conversation about any number of subjects with them, including money. And when you have a difference of opinion, it doesn't create a major problem in the relationship. You have a sense, because you feel secure in the relationship, that you're going to work it out together. They're a safe person to do that with, and you're going to reach some kind of resolution to whatever problem has come up.
So the conflict doesn't create panic. The conflict just creates a moment where something's going to get worked through.
Correct.
Even if it doesn't happen immediately, this is not doing damage.
Right.
This is just working through something.
Feeling secure means that you trust over time that the kinds of problems, big and small, that might come up, money included, problems included, are going to be worked out with your partner in a consistently caring way. If you struggle to trust people and you don't feel secure, then you'll likely be suspicious. If your partner has some dilemma they bring to you, or if they make a mistake, or maybe there was a little problem or something that came up, you might feel like you're not quite sure whether you can trust them to solve a problem with you, and so the conflict that could arise from that would be pretty uncomfortable. If you can't count on that person to be consistently kind and helpful and work through a problem, then obviously there's an issue there. So when you have that kind of insecurity dilemma, it's really important to try to do something to manage that. And you can try and work on it in several ways. We're going to talk about a few of them, okay? So one is go back through your history and identify the places where people were important to you let you down, all right? Where they weren't attuned to your needs, or they were inconsistent with how they loved you. This is a really, really hard thing to do, and it could be really painful to do it, but it's really important to do this, because one of the dilemmas that comes up, especially around money, is can the person who's with you right now behave in a way that could elicit trust, but you're accidentally believing that they're going to be like someone you didn't trust.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you've kind of gone through that process of looking at carefully the relationships that were important to you that kind of let you down, I think the next step there is to be talking with your partner about that. What that was like for you, what it meant to you, and be aware of the lessons that you learned in those relationships, because your partner needs to support you going forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next idea I have is to pay attention to when you're applying the lessons of your past to your present, because if that's done inadvertently or inappropriately, there's this potential for damage in the relationship you have right now.
You can end up actually recreating the relationship you don't want.
That's right. That's right. And the person who's on the receiving end of that, they typically can, over time, feel kind of hurt by sort of eventually sort of being accused wrongly for something they didn't do.
We know that if somebody were to have grown up in a physically abusive relationship, we know they have certain triggers. And if you're in a relationship with somebody who's been through something like that, you learn really quickly that there's certain things you just don't do. Yeah. And now imagine being in a relationship where love was withheld, or where somebody felt insecure for other reasons. And if those aren't disclosed, if those aren't communicated, if those aren't explored, those can be really big minefields that you find yourself stepping through without any guidance.
Absolutely. And you can imagine how quickly that could go wrong.
Yeah.
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 All right. The last thought I have about this is, before you're critical of your partner, slow down enough to reflect on whether your criticism is proportionate to the circumstance.
I think we've all been in that moment in a relationship where we say something and our partner explodes.
Yes.
And we're sitting there with our hair being parted and, going, what in the world did I just step on?
Yes.
And, you just mentioned it in the video before, that might cause you that fear of this moment with your partner where you don't understand what's going on, could turn immediately into a lot of things. It could turn and reflect back to them as anger. It could reflect back to them as fear. Lots of bad things can happen in that moment. So we always say this, how does curiosity come into this moment? If you explode when your partner says something, and you can think after the moment, wow, that didn't seem proportional. Or if you are the one getting exploded at, and you can go, wow, I didn't trigger this type of a response. Those are all moments that you can go, hey, something's going on, something's deeper, something's in our background that we need to explore once these waves kind of settle.
I think you're making a really good point, because a lot of arguments occur in a kind of automatic way. I say something, my wife says something, I react. Before she's even finished with her statement, I already have a response. And when that occurs, the escalation, it intensifies very, very quickly. So this idea is that you would try to slow everything down. It's sometimes very hard to do, and I get you might need to have some practice at it, but try to slow down. And then determine how to ask for what you want rather than what you don't. Because criticisms are often about what you don't want. Making sure you're asking for what you want helps you to get to some kind of solution. Sharing money is a process of identifying what values you have in common and then working towards those. So, to do that, trust has to be a part of the foundation of your relationship. You need trust. In order for you to determine whether or not you want to combine your dollars with your partner, you have to first figure out whether or not you have enough trust in the relationship.
Yes, I mean, we're not just talking about combining our dollars, we're talking about combining our lives.
Yeah.
And finances are a big part of that. It's one of the resources we use. But we've got to find ourselves in a place where we know what it is that we want to do together. We have to believe that we can't accomplish it just on our own, and that we're going to need the other person and all of their resources, not just their financial ones, to make the growth that we want to make together.
For sure. So here's the bottom line. If you don't have trust, work on that before you work on combining your money. If you like our videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. That helps us to get more content to you just like this.
And if you're interested, we offer a class. It's called More Than a Budget, and you can find it at relational-media.com. And in the class, Jeff and I spend some time helping take a deep dive into helping couples find their shared values, go through how to look at how they do money together, and come out stronger on the other side. And as Jeff and I always say,
stay curious.